Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Phys Ed Summit 2017. My name is Sarah Gitchier-Hartman, and I am a member of the Physedagogy and Phys Ed Summit teams. I'm a middle school physical educator from St. Louis, Missouri in the United States. This morning, we have a really amazing and innovative session coming right at you all the way down from Australia. I'm proud to introduce you to Andy Hare and Aaron Gardner, who are bringing you a really amazing session that is also interactive. Just a couple reminders for you. If we experience any technical difficulties at any point in time during the session, just stay clued in to Tazzle, where I can communicate with you and let you know what's going on and help catch you up to speed. We'd also like you to interact with us through Twitter using the Phys Ed Summit hashtag. We also have some free subscriptions to give away to Flipgrid, and we will be posting links to the details for that within the Tazzle at the end of the sessions. When you're done participating in the Phys Ed Summit today, you can go to our website to access a survey, and by filling out the survey to give us some feedback about your experience, we will send you a certificate of participation. So Andy and Asa, you ready to get started?
We are ready.
Ready.
How are we? We're pretty excited. We want to say good morning, America. We don't often get to say that, but we're also going to say good day and good evening to wherever you are around the world.
I wanted to go with a good morning Vietnam type thing, but no one popping up. They're seeing some familiar names on the Tazzle, which is very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get started. What we're going to do, we're going to introduce what we're doing today. Anything could happen. As the title suggests, thinking on our feet and creating on the fly. It's planning for when things actually fall off or the wheels fall off, and it's being able to really keep going. So I'll just flip to a quick presentation which will explain how today's game show is going to work. So what we want to look at, hopefully this will actually come through okay. Yeah, perfect. So so this is where we live, but as I live in Geelong, which is Victoria, actually only live about 7 kilometres apart from each other. So we've been very fortunate across the last 3 years to do a lot of work together. And this is my 5th summit, which I'm pretty excited about. And this is his first summit. He's a rookie, Sarah. So hopefully everyone takes a little bit easier on Asa today. Asa,
so Andy, I'm not able to see your screen share. It says it's loading, so I don't know if that's affecting the rest of the audience, but your audio sounds great. So just keep going.
All right. Okay, because I look really muscly in the photo that he's just put up. It's that's devastating.
There it is.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll do it like that rather than a presentation. I'll tell you a little bit about himself.
Obviously, name is Aaron Gardner, phys ed teacher, currently science teacher, 0.5 as well, but also do a bit around digital curriculum down here. So a man of one hat in that photo, but a man of many hats. So I definitely would love to say that I look as buff as that, but I don't. But yeah, love to work with kids and as like we all do, just really passionate about it. And was lucky enough to travel with Andy and over to the US in February and meet some of the fantastic people that are on Tazzle at the moment. So we had a ball over there and closely with Andy for the last, 4 years now. And you know, I've been annoying each other and we love every minute of it. So yeah, looking forward to this evening here, but this morning for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my role at the moment is I'm a physical literacy coach of Canberra and running a research project here in Geelong. So we're working with 8 schools currently and trying to build it into the classrooms, and then also working with the phys ed teachers to be able to build some confidence around rich pedagogy and rich content. We have one of the craziest songs that we'd love to kick off with, given that on the east coast of the States at the moment. And I'm not 100% at work, Sarah, because of that delay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to press present, and I'm going to see. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to play it in their own time. Whoops, that's gone back one.
I see your
You're not seeing that screen?
Now I see the Cuckoo Kangaroo guys. Yes.
Yeah. So this is dedicated to you, crazy. You have young kids around you, bring them in. This song they need to repeat every morning. Oops, I've gone too far again. I'm too quick on the trigger. Like, otherwise we have to sing it. We will sing it.
All right, everyone. This next Cuckoo Camp song is out. It's called the Good Morning Song. It goes like this. G-O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Good morning. Woo, woo, woo. G-O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Hey, hey, good morning. Woo, woo, woo. G-O-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Hey, hey, good morning. Woo, woo, woo. G-O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Hey, hey, good morning. Woo, O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Hey, hey, good morning. Woo, woo. G-O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Hey, hey, good morning. Woo, woo, woo. G-O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Hey, good morning. Woo, woo, woo.
That's got to be one of the craziest songs. It got banned in my house. That's great, that song is.
I actually off our desk. He was actually on top of the desk singing that.
So versus Azza. So Sarah is our game show host. And what we're going to be doing in a minute, Sarah's going to be throwing GFU foundation for us. We don't know what it is yet. So we've done a little bit of work around everything to work out what's going to happen. You are part of the show and the audience. What is going to happen is this. Sarah is going to select the theme. Well, she's going to tell us the theme for each contestant. Azza and I, we're going to battle to see who goes first and who goes second with a presentation, which will be a minute and a half. And Sarah, I want you to keep us honest, like Demo Slam style.
Okay.
We're not allowed to talk for more than 90 seconds, I reckon.
Good luck.
And then what Sarah do is she's going to show us different elements of the lesson and walk us through an entire lesson. Hour, we're going to give you 2 units of work that we may have done, or actually we may have just created in our heads, that may give you a way of thinking about something. You're going to look at something a little bit differently. We're going to ask you on there, and that Google link is very, very important because that's going to give you a chance as an audience to vote who presented that section the best. For example, the first section is called Walk In. Do when they walk into class. If you think Azza's idea is better than mine, you'll vote Azza. If you think my idea is better than Azza's, you'll vote Andy. And then at the end, we're going to have a look at the Google Form graphs, and we're going to declare a winner. And that'll be the champion of the Phys Ed Summit. So no better way to start the summit with a champion to sleep. So that's what you'll see. You'll see that Google Form. So that through the Tozzle, and that'll bring all that up for you. And make sure you put obviously your name, where you're from, your email address, because you'll get a certificate at the very end. Further ado, the suspense is killing us.
Okay, you guys ready?
Broadband, terrible.
Okay, you guys ready?
We almost are, but this rumble is about to, you know, we're ready.
Let's get ready.
Let's get ready to
Okay. Okay, so you want me to tell you guys your
I'm
theme?
going to stop. Yes, please.
Yes. Please.
Okay, so Azza, your theme from TGFU is striking and fielding. And Andy, your theme from TGFU is invasion games.
Nice. Nice. All right. Rock off.
I'm very good at this.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you got me.
Does that mean can I choose?
You can choose first.
You told me how much I'm a rookie all day, and that you're the man at this. I'm going to make you go first.
All right. Hit me with it, Sarah. What's up first?
Okay, so walk in.
First category. So let's set it up now. I only got 90 seconds, so I'm going to go from right now. And I'm at the walk-in aspect of this lesson is all about what's happening as the kids start arriving for class. There are dribs and drabs of kids coming through. We don't want to penalise those who are there. So, I didn't say 9 seconds, 50 seconds.
I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead.
She's on this. What's going to happen is the kids are going to come into my gym and they're going to see that we're doing a soccer AFL unit at the moment based around Invade. And there's going to be all the soccer balls. At the end, there are going to be all the soccer balls set up at the end of the gym. They're going to run in. That routine will be 10 right kicks, 10 left kicks, 10 kicks into the wall, receive with a partner, then 10 kicks with us. And that will repeat and continue until the last child arrives for class. And then we're ready to start class. See, I demo slam myself then.
Boom.
Azza.
Cool. All right, so obviously I'm doing striking and fielding, and I'm probably going to go for something a little bit more exciting than Andy's activity because asleep there with what? No, I'm joking.
He's saying the audience.
I'm joking. Just trying to win some early votes. And I'm going to go. Actually, Andy's going to kill me here because I'm going to go with something that actually Andy set up with in our cricket presentation in the States.
Cool,
so we went with the throwing activity where Andy and I had actually pre-set up the targets. So I'd pre-set up some targets for the kids when they walk in. Not necessarily all targets. I'd probably leave a little pile of equipment out on the floor to get here just because that's in class at the moment. And the kids would basically walk in, grab a partner, grab a ball, find a target that they felt like they were drawn, and then would set up just for the first minute before kids were in a target throwing game. So that's where I'm going with that one.
Perfect. Well done. And Sarah, we talk about this is not part, so you don't have to vote on this, guys, but we talked about why the walk-in. And you and I discussed at length last year, and it was because the middle schoolers obviously were slack getting out of the change room. And it will be try not to penalise those kids that were always first for class. It was actually giving them something to do. So the purpose of a walk-in, reward those who get there first on something to do. Cool. Round 1 done. High five.
Woohoo! Okay.
Oh, Aaron.
Our next round is connection.
Ooh. It sounds Scooby-Doo hands. You can go
first, all right. If I throw big names into the ring here? So if I just throw someone out, someone who's not huge in the PE world at all, Andy Vasily. I'm thinking.
If he's voting you.
Yeah. That's for you. When Andy was out here for our learned a thing about provocation from Andy, and it's something probably I always did, but never really put a name to it. So I like connection, and again, it's something I have done with my kids already this year. Just a provocation video around. So we're focusing on batting at the moment. So I'm thinking of finding some sort of wicked YouTube video around the Big Bash League that runs in Australia. No, we have a Big Bash League, 2020 cricket. It's fast, it's exciting, there's fireworks. So I'll probably throw a video around that and some of the hits in that. So I don't think I need to draw it out any more than that. I think that's how I'd make that connection with the kids and just get them engaged and excited about what we were going to be starting to do. So
yeah. I like that because they get to see.
So again, that was from Andy Vasily, just not throwing any names out there at all.
Yeah. It's cool though because then they get to see what they're actually doing.
That's
and
right.
For those kids that haven't done it before,
that's right.
They understand straight away what is cricket. So well done, mate.
Thank you. You know, I took that one from Andy as well. But we like to sit here and joke around, but this one has been my mentor, and he's shown me. I can't remember his name, the Walker. That unit you did with
Jared Talent.
Jared Talent.
Yeah.
And the provocation video is insane.
Yeah.
Awesome. So.
All right, Andy, you're up.
All right. So I'm going to go totally different. As I talked about provocation, I'm in love with the word provocation. However, I'm going to go with connection circles. So I'm in, got to start the class. And I've got to start the class by connecting with the kids. So the kids have a routine. They know buzzer goes once the whistle goes, once the hand clap goes, once the music turns off. Whatever cue we're using, they come to the centre circle and they don't have a specific spot, but they all come together. And what they're doing is they're actually then forming that class and we're into the grade. From there, we're able to have our discussions about what happened last week. We're able to discuss what we're about to do, and that'll come up in the next couple of little bits and pieces. But then we're also able to really find out if there's any firing the class up that I need to be aware of that might actually destroy the class later on, for instance sake. And it's really to start the class formally by everyone being accountable. And the best part about it, everyone's on their feet. So no sitting down, no looking up to the teacher as well. And we're actually looking at ourselves as one. So that would be my connections.
That's deep.
Awesome.
We goofballs on Tozzle. Is that okay? Can we bet Matthew Bass?
I think that's a compliment.
I think Dr. Eagle would be going.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, Matthew Bassam.
We love what you've chosen for us, by the way.
Awesome. Okay, so the next round is skill check.
You'll check. All right, beautiful. It's very nicely just coming after the connections, and it's about the technical aspect. I love to do this one really before any talking about or learning intent or success criteria, which comes a little bit later for me, but it allows me to have a look and see who needs what skill refinement, because I know where the learning is going to go. And if the majority of the class are not ready with that skill, for instance, say we're looking at invasion passing the left and right foot in soccer. So really drilling it into that. And if they don't have that skill, then we can either talk about that skill and refine that skill right then and there. At the end of the lesson, I'm able to bring back the overall goals because I know that I've reached a little bit too far. The best part about it is it actually can link in with that walking activity, but learn is one of my big buzzwords. It can actually repeat what we did at the walking activity because it's getting everyone involved in small groups, in pairs, but never by themselves either. Like I really love kids to work with each other in that.
Can you please repeat
that? Handball.
Awesome. Azza, your turn.
I like it.
I
was going to say, went with an invasion game. Well,
yeah, I know.
Hang on.
He's trying to cheat off my...
Has he got notes, Sarah? Thought this was supposed to be off the fly. No.
You're ratting him out. The audience.
Disqualification.
Dr. Evil doesn't agree.
All right, so yeah, I did like that. But again, look, like I was probably going to sound very similar to Andy, and that's because we do a lot together. But repetition. I actually, in a session that he came in and worked with me about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we actually took our 5-6s out, but we set it up more like an FMS style that we would do with our younger kids. So the focus was on throwing and throwing accurately, and we just set up 6 rotational activities that were all focused on, so that the focus of what we're going to get to next around our learning intention and success criteria was looking at accuracy. And those 6 activities that we set up are all based around throwing accurately, and from there we're able to assess where the kids were in that moment of that lesson at the start of that unit, and look at where we needed to take them next. So just really get a real shot, skill check, take a video of each kid, and go from there. So yeah, that was something we actually did together. No bonus points for Andy there at all. I'm taking all the claim for that one.
He's done very well. Hey, guys, I was reading on the Tozzle there some of the comments. Just go with the flow with what's next. I may have changed the titles just a little bit, so in order when you're actually voting for Andy.
I would say he's really, things are not working well for him today. You know, just.
I don't think Dr. Evil would agree.
It's what they do on Australian Idol or American Idol.
Just call me. Keep going. We're getting movie.
Okay. Don't worry about the order, guys, because I'm also typing in a Tazzle which round we're on. So, okay, the next one is learning intent and success criteria.
So, are you wanting a specific learning intention, or are we just talking about how we use it?
Either either. So you know, it's really setting up that lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, I'm gonna let you go first.
Right.
Being general.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, learning intent success criteria here in Australia, really visible learning intents with kids. So, what we're trying to really push forward is that the kids should be able to see everything that's going to be an outcome in that lesson, so they can walk in straight away, know what's going to happen, and be successful, or be able to work out the case that they're able to hit. So a learning intent in our invasion games here, for this particular lesson, I would go with moving into space and receiving a pass. So that would be the focus of this lesson. I better write that one down. Moving into space, because that's my activities later on, and receiving a pass. They will know straight away that the learning activities today are going to be moving into space, obviously finding that space to move to, and calling for a pass and receiving it while they're in that space. The success criteria will be built around, obviously, there's no one around me, I've found space, also I've been successful, and I've called for a ball and the ball's got to me when, so that kids can then see that measure of success. Obviously, if they're then able to move into multiple spaces, they're above average. If they're finding it very difficult to get away from an opponent, really getting the space, okay, then they're going to be, a little bit below average in terms of when we're assessing on rubrics. So yeah, so that would be my learning area.
All right, not bad. I'm going to relate it back to probably some things I've seen on Twitter. It possibly comes from Joe, I believe.
Yeah.
So that and I may get this wrong. So the how, the why, or the what, the why, and the how. I see a lot of posters based around that over on Twitter, over in the States. I guess that's how we relate it to our learning intention and success criteria.
Yeah.
I guess we're probably just governed by yeah. So for me, and again, I'm just thinking about what I'm doing at the moment. We're currently looking at ball placement when hitting the ball. So we're looking at where to hit the where to hit the bat, where to hit the ball. And the reason I like that, because then it lends into, without even the kids needing to think about the field, and they think about without needing to have that clear learning intention for them about field placement and where they field. And I guess for you guys, when thinking about T-ball, softball, however you're teaching striking, fielding games over there, I think it gives the kids that next thinking without really having to give it to them. So it gets the kids thinking on the fly. One thing I like to know, this should earn me bonus points, Andy, I believe. So
could be a bonus round. Sarah.
I have wheelie bins, so all my balls are in wheelie bins in my gym, and I love to spray blackboard chalk on my wheelie bin. So we start off in the gym, the learning intention, success criteria are on the board in the gym, but I love to then write that on the actual wheelie bin on the chalkboard, and I'll wheel that bin outside so it's always visible to the kids. So any discussion that we have, any reflection that we have is always brought back to what the learning intention is and what the success criteria is, because in my school, and the focus in Australia at the moment is making sure that the feedback we give is based around what our actual learning intention is for the lesson. So it's not just random feedback, it's actually feedback based on what the outcome of the lesson is. So I like to make sure that is visible for the kids in every lesson. So I just wheel that bin out, make sure it's written on, good to go.
Okay, so just to clarify for our North American audience, a wheelie bin would be a trash can on wheels.
A trash can on wheels.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so I would like to put it out there, and Dexter would agree with me right here, that this round you have to vote for Azza. I'm giving this one to Azza because that wheelie bin, that trash bin, is the best thing that I've seen all year with learning intent, success criteria. Not everyone has an indoor space. Not everyone has a whiteboard. Not everyone has an interactive TV. As is, when he's working outside, decided to take the trash bin, the wheelie bin out. And there's a picture on my Twitter back in around about June or May of the wheelie bin. It's a big red bin, so you'll be able to have a look at my media and go right back and find it. So yes, vote for Azza in that round, because that is I will vote for Azza, but I'm not allowed to vote.
Okay, you guys have got to check out the Tazzle, because everybody is very grateful that I translated, and it's really funny. Okay, so the next round is learning activity number 1.
Learning activity number 1. Good job. So I thought my first lead-in activity with this one, with Invasion Games, is a simple one that we love, and it's called 3v1, and it can be used in every invasion game known to man, woman, child, dog, whoever's teaching your lesson. It simply works in a square, small little square. All the kids have to do straight away is throw. You'll take a elephant skin ball. I'm not sure if that's English or any other language there, but about that big, size of your head, squishes, there's air in it, foam. The kids eat it sometimes, unfortunately, but that's the ball you'll use, and they're playing along lines. What you have is you have a spare space, so inside a square, and you have 3 people on different corners of the square, but then you have one corner of that square is empty, and that's where you have to run to receive the pass. You're not allowed to go over. You're only allowed to go down the lines. The person in the middle is picking in the middle. They're trying to block or intercept that ball. And the people on the outside have to work to throwing to space. Given that our learning intent is moving into space, they're moving into that space to receive the pass. That would be activity number 1. And that it would be about a 10-minute activity. We could actually set it up.
We're going to use Dexter, and we're going to do a little
we could
configure that thing here for you.
But that would be my activity number 1, because it would be something the kids would be very familiar with. It might be something that I would repeat 3 weeks in a row as our leading activity to get the kids moving and getting kids thinking about that space.
So I would, for me, striking and fielding, I'd use a simple target batting game. So again, I'm going with the cricket theme, because that's the unit I'm talking about today. And I would set up a pyramid of cones, and probably I'm not sure how it relates to baseball, but actually placing a cricket ball with a bat is not easy. So actual shot placement, especially for young kids, is not easy. And most kids generally just like to slog a ball as far as they can, as hard as they can. So this is a really good activity to teach them to place the ball. So I would set them up in pairs. I'd have one child throwing a ball to another child. I'd have a pyramid of cones set up. And the idea is for the kids to actually knock that pyramid of cones down. So we'd do that for a real short sort of 10 minutes. But it actually then gets the children to start thinking about how to actually place the ball when they hit it, instead of just let's go for a 6 every shot, which, as much as we all love to hit a 6.
Yeah. How many kids in the group?
How many kids in the group? So in my classes at the moment, I have anywhere between 30 and 22.
Yep.
So anywhere between 22 and 30. So.
Yep. And how many kids in each small little group?
Oh, sorry. So just 2 kids. Just two kids.
Perfect.
Just in pairs.
Perfect.
In pairs. Yeah. So they're yeah. And I say to them, so I'd do this. Let's say you'd have 10 shots each. So one throwing the ball to the person batting, 10 shots each, swap over.
Yeah, love that. Lots of equipment, lots of small little groups.
Yep.
And their own
Everyone's
targets
involved. Yeah.
Good job.
It's a good chance for the teacher to walk up and down the line and again look at simple skill check on bat grip, bat stance, those sort of things. So you can actually fix those things before you get into the minor game style activity.
I love that too, because you're facilitating the learning process, aren't you?
Yeah,
Rather
absolutely.
than sitting there and directing that everyone must do this, everyone must do that. That's a really cool idea.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Andy Milne has joined us. And for those people who don't know Andy, he is originally from the UK. And Andy said, slog a ball for 6 equals hit a home run. So that was awesome. Okay. I never heard that term. Our next round is learning activity number 2.
Number 2.
Do you want me to go first?
You're on a roll. You are on a
All
roll.
right, I'm going to run with one of my favourite cricket games of all time. And the reason I'm going to run with this is because I watched a professional coach come into our school, and this 2 weeks ago, and he came into our school, and I was actually in our multi-purpose room teaching prep, and I was sort of peering outside, and I watched him teach this game to a grade 5, 6 class, and I had 12 kids standing waiting to bat, so 1 child batting, 12 kids in the field, 11 kids standing there waiting to bat, and I thought, no, you are a professional coach, and the one thing that you and I have always pressed in our PE lessons is no kids standing still. No. So all kids can be involved. You can manipulate a game to have all kids involved. So this game of rapid fire, I went out with the kids and I said to them, I watched you play this game with the professional coach in a separate session. I want to change this game up. I want to play the same game, but I want you all involved in the game. How can we have you all involved in the game at the one time? The kids, simple. Let's have everyone batting at the one time, and then all the kids in the field at the one time playing the same game. So all the kids do is they hit a ball off a cone, and there is no perception around having to hit it to space away from a fielder at this time. It's just slog the ball. So let's get the bat stance, the bat grip right. Let's slog the ball as far as we can. But let's all do it at once. So we've got 11 batters and we've got 11 fielders. And all the fielders have to do once the balls have been hit is run the balls back to the cone, place the balls on the cone. When all the balls are placed on the cone, the batters stop running and the fielders shout, "How's that?" And then we add up all the scores and then we swap over. So it's a really quick game. It's a really fast game, but the kids are involved at all time and they love it.
Love it.
It was their idea, so
I love it.
Even better.
Quick thesaurus is coming out. Azza, what does how's that actually mean?
Out. You're out. So 3 strikes, you're out. Yeah,
Yep.
we're running. Same thing, yeah.
When we speak really fast, it means how was that? But it's how's that? Cool. Hey, just a quick mention to a couple of the comments because we've got a pretty cool setup going here. We're watching the comments as they fly. So Brian, little shout out, Brian, has no idea about cricket. Thinks we're actually making stuff up.
Byron. I think it's Byron.
Byron. Sorry, Byron. I've got to get my spectacles on.
Vote for me, Byron. He doesn't even know your name.
It's a little bit far away. So I want you to, Byron, I want you to Google T20 cricket, and then you'll see the kids playing cricket. Or
Andy was just saying we can share. Sorry, we're just reading the Tozzle, and Andy Milne was just saying we've got an awesome cricket resource that we can actually share with you guys to use in your program. So we'll do that at the end of this.
But that's not going to sway the voting whatsoever, just because you're getting free resources, guys. And the other one, Sarah, she reckons you're making all this cricket stuff up.
No, I know you're not. But since most of us in the audience aren't that familiar with cricket, I mean, you could be, and we would never know.
That's what they thought in California were making it.
Well, we were saying that the resource that we've got to share you is the resource I made. So
So not to sway the voting, but the resource that will come out, it's actually got all the American standards in there. We did it for the Cricket America. All right, activity 2, invasion games. So we're looking at this time having a specific soccer dribble focus. We're looking at a very similar context with the 3v1, but now we're going to go a little bit wider. I'll have a read it. We're going to go a little bit wider, so we're going to actually go a 4v2. So this time, still passing down the line, but then moving into space. But then what we're allowed to do this time is move diagonally through. So we're upscaling the activity. We're also allowing the kids to then navigate their way through some defenders. So bringing in that defense mode where the child's going to be challenged to see whether their skill is up to the speed of being able to be successful through. What we're able to do then, bonus points here, please, people, but use differentiated practice because not every child's going to be up to moving through defenders. And we're going to have maybe 2 or 3 groups still working on activity 1 for a longer period of time to get the passing down the line concept and moving to space. So that differentiated practice is really, really powerful in terms of being able to move different lessons within the lesson as well. So my activity 2 is simply with the soccer starting to evade and actually control that ball, but then receiving it up the line into space as well. Done.
I'm confused with that. No, I'm joking. That was actually really good. Really good.
Okay, so we've got about 11 minutes left. So we need to fly through these next 4 rounds, okay? So the next round is learning activity number 3.
Okay, so same game that I just explained, rapid fire. My kids came up with this. So this I can't claim this one as my own, but same game, and all they did was add boundaries to their game. So bonus runs rapid fire is what they called it. And they added a 6 at the back fence. If you hit the back fence, it was a 6, but you could run and then just add the 6 runs on to when the kids got the ball back on the cone and shouted, "How's that?" Side fence was a 4. Over the fence was 50 runs, and Mr. G had to then collect the ball off the road. So there was also a chance that I was going to get hit by a car. So that was a bonus 1,000 runs if I got hit by a car. Not fun, but never going to get hit by a car, but was a bonus 50 runs. And so same game, just the children came up with their own rules. Now, this is where things went a little bit, I guess my passion came in. So I had a couple of kids who still weren't sure around the rules of things. So do you know what I did? Brought a little bit of STEM into the classroom.
Ooh, STEM, good
So
word.
went and got Sphero balls. Do you guys know what Sphero balls are? Sarah, give me a nod. Do you know what a Sphero ball? So it's a coding ball.
Yes, I've heard of a Sphero ball.
Beautiful. All right. So I went and got the Sphero balls, and we actually explained the game through the use of coding these balls. So we set up a little cricket field inside based on the same game. We set up some little batters, some little bowlers, and we actually coded the balls to show the kids how the game works. Now, I wouldn't have done that normally, but I deliberately did that because we were trying to work out a way that we could actually link STEM into the PE classroom. I thought this would actually be a cool way if we could use the Sphero balls to explain the actual game So the kids were beside themselves that we actually got these Sphero balls in. I got a little group and we used them to actually explain the game.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
just something left of field.
I like that. Bring the technology into it. Good job, Azar.
Thank you.
My activity 3, I've flipped the learning. So we here in Australia with our Australian Sports Commission, we've got a principle called change it. So change it is really important because you're starting to change the rules, change the numbers, change the equipment, change the size of the game, change the size of the field, which starts to really integrate learning and being able to use different sports as vehicles to run invasion games. So my activity 3 within that same lesson is using AFL, Australian Rules Football. Different ball, a bit rounder than your American gridiron ball. But the kids will start to play a game called 4-a-side football. And in that game, they'll use handball, they'll use kicking. And what they've got to try and do is time how long they're able to stay in possession of the ball and passing it around. So as soon as it hits the ground, it's a turnover. They've set themselves a PB, but now they're playing defensive. So they've got to then start to try and get in front of the attacking team, block it, catch it, whatever they need to do to force that team to actually have an error. Ball hits the ground, change the play again. So it's simply really, really fast. There's no scoring goals at either end. They're just counting how many possessions they get. And that would be my activity 3 to be able to tie off that lesson.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Like that.
done.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next round, which is reflections.
Good job. So reflection, simply, we're coming back to our connection circle. And what we're having a look inside that connection circle is we're looking for student voice. What went well? What was successful? What needed changing? What someone thought their improvement was? And then we might have other students actually going, I really like the way you did this. I really like the way that you have improved on this. Or I actually thought that activity was a little bit too hard for us. So the kids are giving voice again inside that connection circle. Something really sweet, but it repeats what we did at the start. We connected at the start to summarise what's happened before and what's about to happen. We've then reflected again inside that circle to talk about really what's happened inside that lesson. So I've got feedback as a teacher. Your turn.
Love it. I love it. I'm going to go a little bit different, and I'm going to look at maybe reflection towards the end of a unit, and just not so much in a specific lesson, and only because you and I use a lot of the same probably tools and ideas, and because we do so much together. So I guess I'm going to probably just focus maybe on the end of a unit, what I would do. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just say the same thing that you just said. So I'd look at using something digital so that I could get something something more concrete for understanding of that unit. So something like Padlet. I know you guys use Padlet over there, have seen it. So I'd set up some focus questions for the kids to answer around Padlet, or use something like Plickers, just to see what understanding the kids have gained throughout the unit. I'd probably use something like Plickers or Padlet to gain that to gain the knowledge around what the kids have learned throughout the unit. Sorry, we're getting close to 11 o'clock here, and I'm getting very tired.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Yeah, summarising the unit.
Okay, let's move on to the next round, which is assessment focus.
Assessment focus. So this one was really important, and it allows us to capture something inside that lesson. You know, we've got to be really careful with the assessment focus as educators, and I think that over-assessing, it happens all the time, and all we do is assess. We actually don't teach. So the assessment focus is zeroing it right down, and I go right back to the learning intent success criteria. Success criteria is my assessment. That is what I'm looking for. Moving into space and receiving a pass. You know, I'm not going to get to 26 kids in a lesson, so I might pick on 5, because this unit, I know this unit for invasion games is going to go for about 8 weeks. So I'm going to have time to repeat that assessment. I'm going to have time to pick up some critical assessment with other kids. I'm also looking for those kids that are already at level and trying to move them up a level. I'm also looking for those kids that are below level and trying to move them to at level. So I just simply use a real basic rubric checklist using iDocio. 3, 2, 1, yeah, 3, 2, 1, and it locks them in. And it would be really inside a lesson, looking at 5 kids that I'm really concentrating on hard for that time.
Yeah, he's just stolen my thunder there. So I'm a big iDocio user. In fact, I love it and wouldn't use anything else. But yeah, my mind's exactly the same, and it's probably again hard to differentiate what we would do here, because
it's a 50-50 line ball.
Yeah, we do the same thing. So and that's because we work so closely. But I would use iDocio again, looking. I guess the way I look at my lessons, I have a rubric that's based on technical, tactical, values, and behaviours, and I actually weight those 4 areas. So with my 3 4s, I weight the technical and the tactical differently to the values and behaviours, just based on the kids still learning the idea of values and behaviours in a PE lesson. Whereas when I get to my 5, 6 kids, my older kids, I actually weight more on the technical and tactical side and less on the values and behaviours, because my understanding is they've been with me for a long time now. So the weighting on, I guess, the values and behaviours that are expected from me, that they know what I expect of them. So I focus a lot more on the technical and tactical side of things. So, but again, that's through iDocio, through a rubric, and it always related back to our learning intention and success criteria. So not too different or dissimilar to Andy there. So
yeah.
Yeah,
nice. That's a 50-50 line ball for you voters. Dr. Evil says, too bad. Choose one.
Okay, so we have one more round, but before we move on to it, I just want to say really quickly that for those of you who are concerned that you don't see your students very often, or that your class minutes are very, very short, you don't have to get through all of these rounds in one class period. You might get through the first, the second, the third one, and then class is over. And then the next time you meet with a student, you kind of pick up where you left off. And so I think it's very important for everybody to remember it, and that I am sure that nobody really gets through all of these in one day. Just not realistic. Okay?
It's looking at those categories, but and this may give me some bonus points here. It's getting the kids to connect to the story, and the story might roll over 10 or 12 chapters, but you might only get through the first 3 in depth, and then that's the end of that storybook, because you've gone so far into actually producing growth that you can't physically do everything. It's having a plan. The best thing about having a plan is that you've actually thought about that learning journey. Where you come as an educator through all that is why we went to, obviously, college and university, and why we're doing what we do, because we have to decipher what is the most important value for the time that we have. Bonus point?
Okay, here's our very last round, and let's try to fly through this one. This is what's next?
What next? Bedtime for us.
I was about to say I'm going to bed. That is next.
All right. So what's next? So what's next for me would be simply looking at what needed improvement and repeating at least one of those activities for repetition. So I might go, for instance, say activity number 2, the larger area soccer dribble could be my activity number 1, or it might be my walk-in activity in my very next lesson. So that repetitive notion, the kids already have something they're familiar with. You don't have to teach. They can walk in, they can do it, and they know how to be successful in it. That would be my what's next.
My what's next would be very similar, but I'd take my assessment home, have a good look at it, look at the kids that I probably needed to work maybe a little bit closer with the next day. Get those focus groups happening. I'm done. I think that's about it. That would be me for what's next. And probably that's one thing Andy has taught me very well this year, is exactly that. Don't move on too quickly. That conversation that you guys just had, that bring something that you've done the day before, so the kids are feeling comfortable, feeling like they know what's going on. Bring one of those activities back to your next lesson, as your first learning activity. So the dogs are going nuts outside. Sorry. Not moving on too quickly. So that'd be the what's next from me.
Awesome.
That is us. And he's back.
Sorry, my dog was going bananas. The biggest thing now, obviously, with what's happened is that people need to make sure they voted, because once they press submit, then we'll actually start to be able to collate. And we can see some responses coming up
Get in there.
already.
Nath.
Which is
This will be interesting. So Nathan Weaver's a good mate of ours, so we'll be interested to see who he's actually who he's like.
So how about, would you like us to share this now, Sarah? I think
Yes. Yes, I think so. I think the audience wants to see what's going on.
Green.
I'm going to go to bed upset tonight.
You
Look at that.
are, mate. You are going to be cry.
That's just
So,
devastating.
Have you got a pen, Sarah?
I do have a pin.
You are our teller. So,
Oh, jeez, I'm going down. I'm going down by the minute.
walking activity goes to Andy. So 1 to Andy.
Okay.
Oh, line ball. How close is that? Connection.
Oh,
Andy.
stiff.
Oh, warm up.
Andy.
Andy.
Yes!
Oh, as us.
Now that isn't actually what we would call a flogging now.
That's how much pizza my son ate tonight.
So that would probably, we don't need to look at it anymore. I'm going home a winner.
One to Azza. Oh, 2 to Azza.
Is that the one you said give him though?
No.
Ooh.
Oh, it's 3 to 3.
Azza, 3-3. Ooh, 4 to Azza.
Taking
You've
the
got
lead.
them with the cricket. You've hooked them.
Taking the lead.
Andy.
It's tied 4 to 4.
Oh, what are we up to? Oh,
Assessment focus.
we've got 1 more to go.
It was the same. We had the same thing. See, you went first. Stiff.
So is that 5-4?
Yeah, 5-4 Andy after assessment focus.
Yeah, it's coming your way.
No.
Anyway, here we go. Oh! Andy, he comes.
Oh, whatever.
Becomes the
It's fun though. That was fun.
first king of
Inaugural.
Fizz
The inaugural.
Summit.
The inaugural.
Inaugural. Thank you, Doctor.
Just pipping me at the post and everything. This is ridiculous. We went for the same job with each other last year. You just pipped me at the post of that too. Ridiculous.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you, audience, for getting involved
That
as
was
well.
awesome.
And we really love the Tozzle comments. And the best part of that, we can have a read back through them later on. But there was a lot of cool comments there with all of that. And you've got our details too, guys. So hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook, and we're there to continue this journey, continue this conversation. Because we love it, and that global phys ed is just phenomenal, and you guys at Phys-Ed-A-Go really provide us with this opportunity and this portal. Whether it's 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't matter. We'll be here. We're on.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so it looks like your guys' video and audio is getting a little delayed. Oh, no, it just caught up. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning into this session. I want to thank Andy and Azza for joining us for this late evening / early morning session. It was very, very cool to see you guys interact and come up with your ideas on the fly. So just as a reminder, don't forget that we have a digital badge system that everybody can participate in, and you can earn badges all day today. It's going to be really cool to see everybody post those pictures on Twitter. And we also will post a conference survey once the Phys Ed Summit is over on the Phys-Ed-A-Go-G website. If you fill out the survey, you get a certificate of participation emailed to you. So thanks so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions today.
See ya!
Bye.